Hey guys, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040 bringing to you some very big news from the world of DC, where today I'm going to be talking about DC's Fandom Global Experience from this past weekend, and in my opinion it was quite an experience to say the very least, and certainly one we won't be forgetting anytime soon. We saw lots of cool teasers, lots of awesome trailers, there was big announcements for upcoming DC cinematic movies for 2021 and onwards. You name it, it had everything. So this video today is purely about me talking about some of my favourite highlights to come out of the fandom experience, and it all started with this one, Wonder Woman 84. Now, I've already seen a trailer for Wonder Woman 84 and it looked really good, especially with the Blue Monday score being played in the background. But this past weekend we saw another trailer drop and it looked fantastic. Gal Gadot was in fine form as Wonder Woman, doing what she does best, and that's kicking a lot of ass. We saw Chris Pine back as Steve Trevor. Now the question is, how is Steve Trevor alive after he died at the end of the last Wonder Woman movie? Time will tell. Hopefully they will address that in this movie. And also the highlight of the trailer was seeing Kristen Wiig as Cheetah. Now when they announced that Cheetah was going to be the main villain for this movie, I was very curious and interested to see how they were going to bring her in. So we've seen Cheetah now in her cheetah form and she looks absolutely awesome. She looks scary, she looks intimidating, and a real true force of nature for Wonder Woman. And these guys have got a long history going all the way back to the 40s of the comic books. So this should be a hell of a ride. And also in this trailer we saw Maxwell Lord, played by Pedro Pascal. Now it looks like for this movie Maxwell Lord is going to kind of be the Lex Luthor of this film, where he's like a very shrewd, dodgy businessman but very clever at the same time. So it's going to be very interesting to see what kind of role he'll play. So Wonder Woman 84 is coming and I am absolutely super pumped for how this film is going to play out, and I can't wait to see it. And major credit goes to director Patty Jenkins, who's done it once again. Now this one surprised the hell out of me. When they announced that there was going to be a teaser trailer for The Batman, which is going to be directed by Matt Reeves, I was very interested to see how this was going to play out, especially as Robert Pattinson, as we all know, has been casted to play Batman / Bruce Wayne. So I got to see the trailer and in my opinion, whoa! That's all I've got to say is whoa! Robert Pattinson looked like a monster in this movie. Now bear in mind, as I said, there's not a lot to go with. It looks like the Riddler is going to be the main villain for the Batman movie, which is awesome news because it's been too long since we've seen the Riddler grace the big screen. And yeah, it looks really good. And we saw Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, but we didn't get to see her in her Catwoman costume yet, but I'm sure we will as we get closer and closer to the release date, which is going to be October 2021. So I am definitely making sure that I write that down on my calendar. But Robert Pattinson looked phenomenal as Batman, and in some ways, unless it's the way they filmed the trailer or that's how it's going to be when the film comes out, it looked like a trailer for Batman Arkham Origins, or at least that's how it looked to me. And I was definitely getting old school Bat vibes from the old graphic novels of the 90s. But yeah, it looks like Matt Reeves is going to deliver, and it looks like Robert Pattinson is going to shut the naysayers and bury the critics by going in there and delivering an epic performance. But time will tell. But we are off to a great start. Now, the Suicide Squad. When it was announced that James Gunn was going to be the one directing this movie, I was very interested to see how he was going to pull this off, especially as he's delivered two fantastic Guardians of the Galaxy movies back to back for the MCU, so expectations were very high. Now, some cast members are back from the last Suicide Squad movie, but overall there is a whole bunch of new faces for this movie, and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's an all-star cast for this movie. We now know who Idris Elba is going to be playing in the new Suicide Squad movie. He is going to be playing Bloodsport. Now, for many of you who know already, Will Smith played Deadshot in the last Suicide Squad movie, but sadly he will not be returning for this outing due to scheduling conflicts. But we got Idris Elba in that Deadshot kind of role, and yes, that's all I've got to say. Idris Elba is going to kick a lot of ass in this movie, and he's a fantastic actor. Go and check his stuff out, like Luther. He is a phenomenal actor. He is going to, I think, steal the show, in my opinion, and he looks an absolute beast in this role, and I can't wait to see what kind of role he is going to play in this new Suicide Squad movie. And speaking of surprises, John Cena is actually in this movie. Now, when it was announced that John Cena was going to be starring in Suicide Squad, I wasn't entirely sure what kind of role he was going to play. I thought maybe he would have a cameo of sorts, maybe he might work alongside Joel Kinnaman's Rick Flag character, like maybe a random soldier or something, but it was quite obvious that he was going to have some sort of major role. Well, John Cena has been casted as Peacemaker. Now, I don't really know a lot about Peacemaker. I don't think I've read a Peacemaker comic book, so I'm not really entirely familiar with him. But having seen John Cena as Peacemaker in the trailer, they got the look right. I'll give them credit. They've got the look spot on. How much of a big role he's going to play, time will tell, but so far this is shaping up to be a very star-studded cast, in my opinion. So we've got Idris Elba as Bloodsport, and we've got John Cena as Peacemaker. So two very big names there, two very big heavy hitters in this movie. So yeah, bring it on. And it looks like James Gunn is definitely going to deliver on this one in a very big way. And with John Cena added to this movie, it definitely brings the star power up even higher. And speaking of star power, Margot Robbie is back once again as Harley Quinn. And what I noticed in the trailer is Harley Quinn was wearing a very different costume. She was actually wearing her classic black and red colours. Now, Margot Robbie has been in two previous DC cinematic movies, Suicide Squad and Birds of Prey, but we never really saw her wear a classic Harley Quinn quote-unquote costume, so to speak. So to see her in black and red leather really brings it up in a big way, and for the first time in a long time, Harley Quinn actually looks like Harley Quinn. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Harley Quinn is going to be handled in this movie, especially after the way Birds of Prey ended, unless they're not going to tie those two films together. But once again, we'll just have to wait and see. But it's always fun to watch Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, so this one should be no different, and I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see what she's going to bring to the table this time round. And as I said, star power in this cast, and there is a lot of it. We've got Margot Robbie, Idris Elba, John Cena, Joel Kinnaman, Joel Courtney, Peter Capaldi, Alice Irregra, Pete Davidson, David Dallas McCallan, Michael Rooker, Tucker Watati, Nathan Fillion, Storm Reed, Daniela Mikola, Steve Agee, Sean Gunn, Jacqueline Cosio, Jean Sigo Botto, Julia Ruz, Fulia Borg, Tanashi Kajese, Malianige, Jennifer Holland, and of course Viola Davis is back once again as Amanda Waller. So, woo! that is a real star-studded cast, and just going by the trailer of the Suicide Squad, this is shaping up to be a lot of fun. And nothing against the last Suicide Squad movie, you had a good cast and you could tell they were having a blast with it, but it was just the writing was an issue for me, and I felt it was the weakest of the cinematic stuff in my opinion. But yeah, this is going to be very different, and if it is a soft reboot, then this movie might be all the better for it, because it does feel very different, but at the same time it feels very fresh, new and exciting. So as I said, if it is a soft reboot, then it's a good call to make, and it looks like it's going to be all the better for it. So we'll just have to wait and see, but James Gunn looks like he's going to knock this one straight out of the park, as I know he will. And last but surely not least, the highlight of the entire weekend was we saw the teaser trailer for the Zack Snyder cut of the Justice League, and all I've got to say is, if this is anything to go by what we saw in the trailer, we are in for one hell of a ride. Now, from my understanding, the Justice League Zack Snyder cut of the movie is 4 hours long. My God. 4 hours long. And the HBO Max have decided that they are going to show the Snyder cut of the Justice League as a mini-series, so it will be broken up into 4 parts. Each episode will be 1 hour long, and I think that is a brilliant move, because not only does it spread itself out more evenly, but it also gets people on the edge of their seats, so they'll want to come back and see more of it, because I don't think there's many people who could sit through a 4 hour long movie. I know I can, and I know my good buddy would definitely sit through it, but some people may not have the patience to sit through a 4 hour movie, so by breaking the movie up into 4 hour long episodes is a good move, and it works out better for everybody involved. Now, one of the highlights of the Justice League Snyder Cut trailer was we got our first proper look at Darkseid, and Darkseid looks like an absolute beast. Now, it is a shame that we didn't get Darkseid in the other Justice League movie, but boy oh boy, this has definitely made up for it. Now, we're not entirely sure how much of a big role Darkseid is going to play in the Snyder Cut of the Justice League, but just by this shot alone, he looks absolutely fantastic. And Darkseid, as we all know, to many hardcore geeks out there, and myself included, Darkseid, in my opinion, is the ultimate villain for the DC universe. There is nobody bigger, badder, and more evil who can test not just the Justice League, but the entire DC universe quite like Darkseid, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he brings to the table. Whether it's going to be a cameo, or whether he's going to be the second main villain, or the main villain, who knows really, but I want to see more of Darkseid. If this is what he's going to look like, then bring it on, man, bring it on. And speaking of bring it on, how about the shot of Henry Cavill in the black Superman suit? Yes! Finally, we are getting the black Superman suit in the Snyder Cut of the Justice League. Now, we were screwed out of seeing that in the other version of the Justice League. So the fact that we're getting the black suit in this Justice League movie is a real dream come true. I am a little bit bummed out that Henry Cavill's hair is not long enough and he hasn't got the full beard, but either way, it's not a big issue, but it is something I would have loved to have seen, especially as it's a big part of that look back in the comic books. But I'll take whatever I can. But the fact that we are actually getting the black suit and we're going to see Superman in action wearing it is absolutely epic, and I can't wait to see it. This is probably the main thing aside from Darkseid, of course, but this is probably the main thing that I'm looking most forward to seeing in the Justice League, because as much as I love the classic red and blue, and it is iconic, I love the black suits. It's just awesome. It just looks absolutely fantastic, and I believe this is the first time that we're getting the black suit in a cinematic situation. I know they did bring the black suit in the Arrowverse, but it wasn't quite the same, but it still looked good. But this is the first time officially, as far as cinematic stuff goes, that we're getting to see the black suit. And just as I said for Darkseid, I'm going to say it here: bring it on, man, bring it on. Oh yes, can't wait. But this wasn't the only thing that made me emotional. This shot of the Justice League standing tall and standing united, with Superman in the middle wearing black, Ben Affleck looking like a beast as Batman, Jason Momoa looking like a badass, Gal Gadot looking awesome as always as Wonder Woman. Just everybody looked like a real superhero team, and it didn't feel awkward at all. It just felt epic. Now, whether or not this is the ending or this is somewhere in the middle of the movie, who knows, but this was an absolute beautiful shot. And there was one scene we got of Ben Affleck as Batman where he sounded a lot more serious and confident and not all weird and awkward as we saw previously. So you can definitely tell that this Justice League movie is going to be very, very different to the one we got, and I can't wait to see how this is going to play out. Now, if the Snyder Cut does well, which I think it's going to, then I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that this will put the DC Cinematic Universe back on the right track to where they're supposed to go. But, as I said, time will tell, but we are off to a great start, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where this all goes. And speaking of star power, what about the Black Adam teaser that we got from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson? Now, we know that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has been casted to play Black Adam, but we didn't really get much information, but it looks like we've got the green light, and just by this picture alone, I think The Rock is going to do an awesome job as Black Adam. Now, he has teased that he could have a run-in with Superman, which has already got me pumped up just by the mere mention of that. But when you have a guy like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who is, in my opinion, the highest paid and biggest actor in the world as part of DC, that's a big shot in the arm. All due respect to John Cena, but there is nobody bigger as far as movies and mainstream appeal goes than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And I'm looking forward to Black Adam. I'm very interested to see what he's going to bring to the character and what he's going to bring to the DC table. So, should be a lot of fun. And last but not least, we have been given a title for the new game that Warner Brothers has announced, and it is going to be a Gotham Knights game. And from my understanding of this new game, Batman is dead, so we are going to see, from the point of view of Batman's sidekicks, Batgirl, Robin, Nightwing, and the Red Hood, who you'll be able to play in this new Batman game. So this is going to be very interesting, and it's really cool that we're going to see Batman's partners be in the spotlight and being showcased. So from my understanding, unless I'm proven wrong, it looks like Gotham Knights is going to be set after the events of Arkham Knight. So this should make for a very fun and interesting game, and I'm very much looking forward to it. I can't wait to see how this game's going to unfold, and yeah, it should be a real kick-ass game, so fingers crossed, let's wait and see. But I think the one thing that I'm looking most forward to playing in this game is playing the Red Hood and Nightwing, because they're awesome characters. I probably like the Red Hood maybe just a little bit more than Nightwing, but I would say they're about roughly the same. But this is going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to play it. So bring it on, guys, bring it on. And that just about wraps it up from me. What did you think of DC Fandom Global Experience? Which movie are you most looking forward to? What's your thoughts on the new Gotham Knights game? Are you excited about the idea of playing the sidekicks of Batman in the new game? Which character are you going to be wanting to play in the new game? Do you think The Rock will deliver on the new Black Adam movie? Do you think the Zack Snyder cut of the Justice League will live up to the hype and actually deliver? What about Wonder Woman 84? Are you pumped for that? Robert Pattinson as Batman, directed by Matt Reeves. Do you think Robert Pattinson will make a good Batman just by the trailer that we've seen? You know what to do. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I will see all of you next time. So until then, take care everybody and stay safe.